Hi everybody, it's another day and I've started doing a little bit more of the dollhouse. Okay, so, put the light on for you. Today a couple days ago, I went ahead and I glued on another, I know everything is a mess and I'm sorry about that. I went ahead and I glued on another wallpaper set. This is the bottom room, obviously. This is the top half and the bottom half. Now I think I'm going to change my mind. I might just use this color as the bottom of the top room and put a nice molding. So that's what's going on with that. Over here, I have painted the ceiling. Now, I'm going with a painted ceiling as opposed to ceiling paper. That's just how I plan on doing it. So, this is one coat with no primer of white. It's probably going to need another one. This bottom down here is 2 coats, and that looks pretty nice. So, probably going to do 2 coats. And here is the ceiling of the second floor ceiling. Okay. So, that's basically all I've got done so far. This part of the process requires a lot of a little bit of steps. For example, this white paint isn't going to be dry. This one coat won't be dry for the entire day. Now, it might have something to do with the paint. I'm betting that it has more to do with the fact that it's really humid here. So, I need to wait extra time for things to dry. So we're going to let that dry. Once that's dry, we're going to start putting everything together. Now I've set aside the colors of wallpaper that I've used so that when the other rooms get assembled, I can go ahead and wallpaper them appropriately. But since I haven't gotten that far in the directions, I don't want to pull out pieces just to accommodate wallpapering those rooms. I'm going piece by piece, just as the directions suggest. So, as soon as all of this gets dry, then basically I will be able to attach those 2 walls, which will go right here, and the other one will go here, and then this piece of the wall will end up sliding in right here, and I'll have to wallpaper that accordingly. I also have to figure out what I'm going to do on this side of the wall. I haven't decided yet. As far as wallpaper, it's going to be, let's see. This is the orange room down here. This is going to be that red room. And this right here, obviously this side is going to be red, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do in this room. I know that this is going to be staying the same color as the floor. That's just how I want to do it. And I'll go from there. But that's what I've got so far. I also have to re-wallpaper this room, and we're going to have to wallpaper this room. So these are the rooms that I've got. Then there's these rooms. This room hasn't come together yet. That'll come together in time. But, you know, one step at a time. And then the next step after I get all these pieces together and this floor in is going to quite literally be building the staircase. So, everything seems to be going pretty well. Like I said, this is what the ceiling looks like. Get a close up. That's the texture of the ceiling without a second coat. Now, if that's what you want, and I'm not sure if that's what I want. I haven't decided yet, because I don't think the ceiling is that big of a deal. But if that's what you want, then that's great. And I would just go with it. It looks a little unfinished, though. So, I think I want another coat. Looks really grainy. And I actually sanded this down. I sanded down the ceiling because I wanted it to look as nice as possible. This one, it's hard to see from this angle, but see, didn't really make a difference in retrospect because I didn't sand everything. There's a part of this that I didn't sand, just to see what would happen. And as you can see, I got a little bit of paint on the bottom wall, which I also need to wallpaper. I'm not really worried about that though, because like I said, the wallpaper is going to cover it. So, yep, that's basically what's going on there. Excuse me. I also went to the 100 yen store, and make sure, by the way, if you're painting, you have a well ventilated area. I'm doing my best to ventilate this room because it's raining out, and if I wait for it to be sunny out again with no rain, I will never get this dollhouse done. Okay, so I also went to the 100 yen store and I got these pieces of wood. And these are, they're kind of like, I don't know, maybe a meter, less than a meter, yard, so on and so forth. Anyway, and I also got these smaller pieces of wood. Let's see, I don't know if you can see them, they're much smaller, but they're square. And my plan is to make a shelf unit out of this. You know, just a nice little square shelf unit, which is going to cover those walls, the bumpy walls that I said in the green room that I have. So, I also need a different stain or different paint, though, for these. So that's going to probably wait until I get that figured out. But you know, I'm not going to spend the money on buying a ton of furniture. I want to make sure that I can make it if I can. So that's basically where we are right now. The next step is to finish up the walls right here, put them in, install them. I'm not going to, now here's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to put molding on here until it's completely installed, because I just have a feeling that I don't know what the windows are going to look like, the space that it's going to take up, so I don't want to put molding here until the windows are completely installed. But I'm not worried about that because molding should be super easy to put in, even in tight quarters. So we'll do that at the end. But I have set it aside though. I have everything set aside and ready to go. I just am not doing it right now. So, yep, that's pretty much all that I've done so far. This step, it's taken me a couple days to get back in here because it's just been a lot going on. But this step is basically, hi, my hair's a little messy. But this is just basically just doing all the extra stuff, slowly getting it done, and putting together, taking apart, putting together, taking apart. The one thing I expected when going into this project was that it was going to take a lot of time, it was going to be really slow. I did not realize that you were going to have to, that the best process was probably to put things together and take them apart. But that really is the way to go. Getting things organized, make sure they fit, take them apart to wallpaper and everything, and then putting them back together once they've been wallpapered to make sure it looks good, then putting the glue on, which requires taking some things apart. So yes, and that's one thing I would definitely tell you to keep in mind if you are going to jump into a project like this, is that it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of patience, and steps go together really quickly. So if you're actually following the suggestion that Greenleaf has of just like staining the house and putting it all together just like that with no like wallpaper or anything, then this house could probably go up, I'd say in a week. I would say that you could probably get this house done in a week if you just worked at it every single day. But with having to wait for paint to dry and wait for glue to dry and decide exactly what you want and where. If you're ordering supplies, it's going to take even longer. So just be ready for that. Be ready for that. I know that some people take forever to get these projects done, and you know, I don't want to take that long. I want to get it done, but I want to get it done right. So I would just say the biggest advice that I have so far as a novice, not really knowing what I'm doing, but just learning as I go is be patient, be ready to take a lot of time, and be ready to accommodate for some mistakes. Like I said, I wallpapered first, didn't like the way it worked out because the glue didn't work, so I had to take it down. Then I wallpapered second, didn't like that, so now I'm wallpapering first again. But you know, it's a learning experience. That's part of the fun, and I think covering up those mistakes is part of the fun too, because you know, it gives me a chance. Like, I would have never thought to put in like shelving units where there's a little bit of a wrinkle on the wall, and now I'm thinking that would be really cool and have little towels and everything. So okay, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Sorry for my gross appearance. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching.